Hey, and welcome back to the Rick and Dafs Podcast. I'm Dafs.
And I'm Rick.
And as always, we are here unscripted and raw.
That's right, Dafs. And I like that you just gave it that little extra emphasis there.
I did.
That made me so happy. Yep. This week, what's the topic?
We are talking about what if everyday jobs were more like sports.
Yes.
So what's your job? What do you do, listener? What if that was much more like a sports franchise?
Yes. So, we're talking sponsorships.
Yeah.
Trades.
Instant replays.
Betting. All sorts of instant replays.
Instant replays.
And
just spectators,
crazy.
too.
And spectators, you could be booed. I love everything about this
Oh
topic.
my God. Like heckle. Like that one guy who won't be quiet on the golf course in the corner. What if you're just doing TPS reports and he's just like, boo, you suck. You call that a 1-inch margin?
Carry the one. Sucker. Psych. But first, Dafs, I have a surprise for you.
You do?
Yes. As one of your best friends, I took the liberty of writing your obituary recently.
That's really disconcerting.
Randomly, I was bored and I decided, good friend of mine, I should probably have this ready to go. I did leave some spots blank, though, just, for variations of what may happen.
for how I might go or for my possible future achievements.
Or just all of it. This is just a cursory one. As we go along in the season, maybe I'll update it. So here we go. Dafs Brandtner, dead today at the age of blank in a tragic accident. After spending much of his life gently sending people down the river Styx towards Hades' shores, it is coincidental that the blank that hit him was carrying hospice supplies. Maybe he didn't have all the class or grace we would have liked from the blank of blank city, but he was persuasive. How else could he have talked his assistant into letting him pilot the blank despite his blank condition? Godspeed, Dafs, on your blank journey to your final resting place in blank.
I love how where I end up is totally open-ended still. It's kind of like, you're a good friend and all, but you're also kind of a D-bag, so it's more of a coin flip at this point.
Well, I'm just, trying to
cover your bases.
Cover my bases. I don't want to get locked into anything.
He wants to push the spread.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of betting, I don't want to lose any money by parlaying that too hard. But maybe I'll update it as we go along.
All right.
It'll get longer. Maybe I'll add some achievements. You're gonna have to work on that though. How did you like that?
I liked it a lot.
Did it make your day?
It did. I did not see that coming.
No, nobody ever does. Just like the blank that hit you. Anyways. Hey, you know what's great about this is if you do die, I can come back in and fill this in with editing.
Nostradamus over here. He knew about it weeks before it happened.
What do you mean weeks?
Weeks?
So, first thing, if business was more like sports trades.
Oh yeah.
I could just be traded to another ICU hospital, another ICU. They're like, you're a valuable team player and all. You're one of our top achievers, but we're really missing some depth and quality. So we traded you to Renton for two ICU nurses and a prospect. The prospect will have to train up, but we it's business, so we had to do it. Then I get over there, they're like, yeah, that was a salary dump. You're cut. What? I'm suddenly unemployed after getting traded to another team.
I imagine for a lot of floor nursing, it wouldn't even be that. It wouldn't be that glorious. It'd be like, we actually we're going to low census somebody, but then we realized we could just trade you. What do you mean trade me? Who'd you get? Well, not a who so much as now we have 4 computers on wheels. One of them only has one bad wheel. Much more mobile than our current ones.
Where do I work now? IT. Go on down there. You're just like, what? You get down there, they're like, we're going to have to renegotiate your contract. You're getting paid way too much. You're like, just cut me.
You don't know any IT work, do you? No.
Your salary's getting cut.
There's no way we're going to pay that much of that.
Yeah. The only good thing about that is I'd be able to get like signing bonus money for every job.
That's true.
Like, I'd be like, I want this much of my salary guaranteed. You'd be like, no dice. Nobody comes to watch you. They're all watching Bill over there. Well, something we were joking about is like competitive surgeries.
Yeah.
You could get such a cheap surgery if it was a competitive surgery situation.
Yeah. I mean, you'd be pretty much guaranteed to have a sponge left in you or something.
Or
but that's part of the discount.
It's part of the discount. Well, and the sloppy closing job and everything.
They just, when sutures will do, let's use a staple gun.
Yeah, right. He's waking up from, like, the time that you wake up from anesthesia is also part of it. So they, like, start lightening your sedation as they're stapling you closed.
I imagine they would just use nitrous oxide then. Because that
cauterizes it closed.
Well, no, because nitro, you breathe it in and it makes you like, it's like laughing gas. It makes you go like wild.
No, I'm sorry. I meant just like cauterize it closed. Just
But like nitrous like goes out of your system in like 30 seconds. So you wouldn't even be fully under. They'd have to like hold you down like pit crew.
Oh gosh, that's terrible.
I'd watch it though.
Oh, I'd watch it too.
Yeah, totally.
And then he like in the middle of it, they'd be like commercial break, and then you'd see the surgeon like holding like a sponge or something. He's like, it's good for the house and for the patient. And he's like mopping the guy's brow.
I didn't even consider that. Yeah, you could have endorsements right there in the surgery. When I need to staple my geriatric patients, I always use DeWalt staplers. Isn't that for construction? Yeah. Construction approved. Medically grade safe.
Or just like, when I'm speeding to an emergency surgery, the only tire I trust is Firestone.
They just pull back a wall and there's his car on the other side of it with skid marks.
That's riveting TV. I love it.
I just imagine toward the end, it's just like, that's why the only gin I drink is Bombay Sapphire. And they're like, wait.
No smell, no tell.
Right? You just swigged that for the commercial. That was water, right? All right, let's dig in.
I mean, if you think about it, like a lot of professions already kind of lend themselves to that. Like, I mean, we see celebrity chefs and celebrity doctors on TV.
Oh, yeah.
Like, why not just make everything that way?
Well, and there already are shows about like plastic surgeons, and they show the surgery and they show the rehab and all that kind of stuff. So it would just be that, but much more in a fast-paced, competitive, more like a Cake Boss or Storage Wars.
The one thing that would be cool about that is if you made it like basketball or football, where there's a salary cap. Where it's like the surgeon has only like so much money he can pay his guys. And he's like, well, you know, honestly, we're just going to tank this year. So I'm trading all my best scrub techs and to Johnson over there. He's making a push for the playoffs. So then you go in for surgery. It's literally just him and like one person running the entire thing.
He's LeBroning it. He's just carrying the team on his back.
Yeah. But tickets are still high priced. You're just like, what? I could just, we were talking about this earlier. I can just imagine the, like kind of the golf type announcing, where they're like, he's making his first incision. Ooh, gotta watch out for the dermis there. Nicely done. And then you just start hearing the golf clap in the background.
There's always one heckler, though.
Yeah. Boo. That's the other thing, is that if it's like sports, then there's definitely gonna be spectators for everything and booing. So like technically, like on my day off, like I could go down to like the Starbucks. I could get tickets, go down to the Starbucks corporate office and watch Phyllis fill out expense reports.
Most people there are her family and friends. They're just being supportive, and they're like, "Yeah, you can do this. That was great. That was great." Meanwhile, she's filling out expense reports, and Rick's over here is going 25, 31, 9, 86.
Boo!
You suck, Phyllis.
We want a mathematician, not a belly inch. What? That doesn't even rhyme. Shut up, I paid good money to be here.
That's the thing, too. Depending on how much you pay, that directly translates how close to the action you are. So
I'm literally sitting right next to her. Boo!
So this reminds me a whole lot of the Operation Theater from Seinfeld, where he's like right there watching with Junior Mints. You could be like right up in the action with popcorn, and they're like, "Sir, you are not. You haven't even scrubbed in."
I paid good money to be here. Security has you removed. I mean that might happen now, anyways. Well, that's the other thing is like, if you like started climbing the popularity ladder, like people are just like, Jim from sales, like he's just getting a huge following because Jim is attractive and he's really funny and quirky and he's making a lot of sales. We're getting a lot of people buying tickets to see Jim. I think it's time that we promoted Jim. So you go into it's almost like if you were able to take, if you were like Instagram famous, all your Instagram followers into your work when you tried to get a raise.
Yeah. If you think about it, they've almost done this. Because I was about to say it's like American Idol. But instead, it's almost like American Idol mixed with like The Apprentice. Where it's like supposedly a real job at the end. But this actually would be a real job. And it would be like interns. Like that'd be the whole title of the thing. And everyone would have their favorite. And I mean, Sally's really, really hardworking and she's great. But Jim is just so darn attractive with those boy next door looks. He's horrible at his job.
And his witty remarks.
Yeah.
Yep. It'd be like if The Office was real. Mm-hmm. And like if it was really real, if it was a real documentary, but also like you could buy tickets to go watch Jim work and Pam. And people would be like, why aren't you together? She's like, I have a fiance. It's like ruining her life.
That would be so much stress.
You'd have so much pressure on you.
For real.
She'd like cut an endorsement with some sort of cashmere sweater company. When I'm typing late into the evening, I always reach for my Kenneth Cole cashmere. But you know what? You bring up a good point. If we're going to have people watching on TV and having their favorites, we are going to have gambling on it.
Yeah, there's betting on everything nowadays, and it would get even more insane.
Yeah, you'd be like, I put a futures bet on like Dave getting that promotion. Mm-hmm. He's going to get that promotion to superintendent. Like you see your friend, he's like, I lost it all. I thought that they could finish their garbage route in under 2 hours. I was wrong.
Well, that's the thing. So there's going to be over-unders for like everything. And so it's going to be like, little Timmy's, newspaper route. And they're going to be like, all right, he misses 3 houses is the bar.
Yeah.
You want over? You want under?
Yeah.
Well, what's the spread? Well,
yeah. When on rainy days, he usually misses more. It's not rainy, but it's overcast. Yeah. So, I mean, you tell me. He could blow it.
Like you have these agents that are like getting like super in-depth charts, and they're like, I don't know, man. He was listening to some serious hype up music this morning, and he got a compliment from a girl he likes in junior high yesterday. I think today's his day. He's gonna set the record.
Yeah, totally. Scouting reports, like on salesmen or surgeons, are like, no, don't put money on him. His wife just left him. And he's been drinking a lot. I do not think he's gonna finish the surgery in under 2 hours. That's not gonna happen. No way.
In fact, I've already placed a bet on whether the patient lives or dies.
The 2 hour, yeah, you parlayed that. 2 hours later, he's like, "Wow, I did not see that coming." He's a gamer. He's a gamer.
What would the equivalent be for surgeons for being like the Seahawks? Because Seahawks are a fourth quarter team. I mean, they can
The
get
patient
trouble.
is nearly dead, and he brings him back to life, and then the patient is fine.
He's just doing like CPR in the middle of it, and they're like, "Oh no!"
Yeah.
Like, no, this is where you can rally.
But that's when you have all those like secondary bets coming in. Like, just is the patient going to make it? You can go online right then and place a bet. You bet $50 he was going to die. You lose it all. Oh, man. There's one thing I would definitely add, and it doesn't have to do with like more like sports, but I would definitely put a roulette wheel in the office that once a month we would spin and something random would happen so that I could keep them on their toes. Like if I was the boss, I'd have this thing, it would spin, and it would just be like, one random person gets fired, everyone gets ice cream. Per your contract, it's okay if I slap you.
You could definitely mess with people too. If you rigged the system a little bit just to increase productivity, like one of the slots on the wheel just says bees.
What?
And it'll never land on it, but it can get really close, and people are like, "Oh no!"
Or glitter. Glitter would be one of those ones in my thing too. It would be like glitter, and then it would just like all of a sudden glitter would rain out of the vents. Like I would pull a little switch.
I love glitter bombs.
All of their things would be destroyed. He's like, they're like all complaining. You're like, well, if you looked at the wheel, you would have seen that if you had increased your sales production by 10%, that would have canceled it out.
Yeah, right.
So next time, if you work a little bit harder, this won't happen to you.
Oh man.
Well, it's
I was just gonna say, I was just imagining like trades. If instead of just the owner getting to choose, if like your team gets to choose, kind of like voting you off the island, like retirement parties would have a whole different feel to them. They'd be like, "Happy retirement," and you're like, "I'm 36," and they'd be like, "Not anymore. Not here. You're not."
Yeah, right. You're a lawyer. They're like, "You're out of here. You got to make room for the young 19-year-old. He doesn't know anything about the law." Yeah, but we'll train him up. He's got a lot of potential.
He's like franchise.
He's been practicing his craft since he was 6 years old when he joined his first junior lawyer associate team. He worked on the OJ trial. He was just 7 years old and he was doing background info, but he has a lot of experience and we have been scouting him since before he even committed to Ohio State.
They'd find like a super rich pool of natural talent in Cuba. Yeah. And you'd have like this, like a huge...
All these lawyers defecting from Cuba to come and practice in New York or wherever.
Yep. They'd be like, dude, I mean, he had a rough road here, but now he is living the American dream. It is great. Like,
I didn't even think about that too. Like, if that was real, then you would have all of these like people. It would be like China, where people just start doing something super early. Like your kid's like, "Oh, I'm really interested in garbage collection. Are you sure that's what you want to do, Timmy?" "Yeah, I love garbage collection." And like all of a sudden they're just like in this like garbage collecting league, like out on Saturday mornings, they're like racing around the city picking up trash. You won. Congratulations. Here's your participation trophy.
Well, I mean, we all know the story of Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods learned calm in high pressure situations by practicing putts and practicing driving, while his dad would yell and berate and throw garbage at him. Like he'd throw like empty paper cups and things to try to distract him, take him out of his headspace, to mess with him. And the idea was, if you can ignore everything else except what's right in front of you, you can, it doesn't matter what weather you're in, doesn't matter if people aren't being quiet or if you're being heckled, it won't affect your game. And people said, well, that's kind of rough to do to a kid, but Tiger Woods is the greatest golfer in years. But imagine if it were like that for accounting, and you just had some dad yelling, "Boo, you suck," and just throwing things at you.
While you're trying to carry the one, multiply by 2.
Someday you're going to be the best darn accountant there is in this entire nation.
This guy could do your taxes in a freaking tornado.
I watched him fill out a T-81 report blindfolded.
He's got the eye of the tiger. Your office could be burning down. This kid will get those electronic expense reports filed and uploaded to the cloud before the flames even reach the door.
Oh.
I like that. I think we've pretty well thoroughly covered that, though. It's probably time to move on, huh?
Sure.
Shall we do the news?
Sure.
The news. Okay, Dafs. Did you know that Einstein's eyes are in a safety deposit box?
Really?
Yeah, apparently when Einstein died, some guy was doing the autopsy. His name was Dr. Harvey. Maybe not Two-Face, I don't know. Anyway, anyways, he one, took his brain without asking, and then 2, took out his eyes and then gave it to one of Einstein's friends who used to be an ophthalmologist. And then that guy just stuck them in a jar somewhere and then put them in formaldehyde.
That's so weird.
I know. So apparently his eyes are somewhere in a safety deposit box. This according to Cracked, which, as we all know, is a very great place to find good news stories.
Absolutely.
The thing that's weird about that to me is that technically that means somebody could potentially buy Einstein's eyes.
Yeah. What strikes me as strange is that I'm thinking, well, gone are the days where you can just steal body parts without anyone knowing. And then I was like, oh, wait
a minute.
We still have coroners. We still have morticians who are in small towns.
Stealing.
Who have no one overseeing them at all.
Yeah, they probably have all sorts of crazy stuff in their house.
That would be nuts.
Yeah. You know what my favorite part about that article is, though? That Einstein wanted his body cremated and then, spread around the earth so that nobody could go to his grave as a shrine.
Really?
Which is kind of arrogant that he thinks his grave would be a shrine.
Yeah.
That's basically I know I'm so important that when I die, people are going to pilgrimage to my grave. Dafs. They're going to be like, hey, that's that guy that ICU nurse we saw on TV that was endorsed by Gas X. And, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it isn't really, that's strange. Because I guess it kind of depends on what your own personal feelings are on what you want to happen to your body after you die. Because I could care less.
I already have said numerous times, probably on this show, what I want to happen to my body when I die.
I thought you said you wanted to be cremated and blown in the face of your enemies.
No, I want to be thrown in the face of my greatest enemy. There's a pact already. So don't cross me, because then you'll be literally eating my dust.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to be donated to science. That's what kind of where I hope I see my death coming, because if I know I only have so long to live and my body's going to go to some, first year medical students, I'm just going to go out and get really hilarious tattoos placed around my body in hard to find areas.
Well, that might be what, as I've written in your obituary already, that might be what leads to your downfall.
There you go.
Also, you're not going to see your death coming. Clearly, I've written it was a terrible accident. So you got to go with that. Don't let me down, Dafs. Can I have your eyes when you die?
Sure.
I'll keep them in a safety deposit box.
Sure.
I'll pull them out at parties and talk to people about it. Anyways. So back to the show. Dafs, it's time for That's Debatable. And you know what? I'm sad because we don't have any intro music for That's Debatable. We probably should get some.
We don't.
I don't even know what it would be.
I think we could just have us yelling whether the dress is blue and black or yellow and gold.
That's a great pop culture reference from like 3 years ago.
Yeah. People literally lost their minds on that. Stacy was mad at me because she thought I was being annoying and saying the opposite when I knew it wasn't.
You're being a what's that called? Devil's advocate.
Yeah, and I'm like, no, literally, I see it as blue and black. She goes, but it's clearly white and orange. And I was like, this is why people are arguing. And she's I guess.
This is how society fell apart. That's the thing that's scary about this show is that we're realizing how close we are.
On the precipice, man. We are on the edge.
But so before we go into That's Debatable, really quickly, would society fall apart if everything was more like sports?
Yeah.
Why? I actually think this is one of the few things that wouldn't destroy society.
I'm just assuming.
I think that suicide rates would probably skyrocket after getting heckled at work continuously.
Yeah, I'm assuming that it would quickly lead to the automation of most jobs due to high pressure situations. So it would just be run by computers. Things would be outsourced to areas where they don't have spectator sports. So it would just cripple our economy and stagnate our growth. I'm convinced.
That's very sad. Okay, now moving on to something much more serious. In this week's That's Debatable, Dafs, who would lead your away team, Kirk or Riker? This is, of course, a Star Trek thing. Captain Kirk or William T. Riker, First Officer, Starship Enterprise, D.
Kirk.
Kirk? Why Kirk?
He's scrappy and he's lucky.
Yeah, that's good for you if you're not on the away team. But it's your away team. You're there. I'm not going down there with him because he'll survive, but I'll get brutally murdered.
Well, even if we're a red shirt, either way, we're getting murdered.
Actually, it seems like on the yellow shirts get killed more on Next Gen.
Really?
Yeah, although they go with a lot of original. They take their cast down a lot.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that Kirk is more likely to cause an interspecies incident by sleeping with somebody, killing somebody, or saying something offensive. So I'd rather go with Riker because worst case scenario, I'd probably get kidnapped.
But yeah, that's the thing. Riker is constantly kidnapped. He's constantly either brainwashed or infected with something or taken over by some kind of game.
But that's the thing, is that it's happening to him.
But if he's leading your away team and they just go, and then Riker got better, and we're all like, yeah, but what happened to Ensign Timmy?
Ensign Timmy.
He didn't
Ensign
come back.
Brandtner.
We didn't have a quick resolution to the story with him. Where's he been this whole time?
Well, you'd probably get killed by the crystalline entity as you ran for the caves.
Right? First scene, man.
All right, here's why I would choose Riker. One, he's taller than me, probably a bigger target. More likely to get shot. Two, while he is more on the womanizing side, he's nowhere near the level of womanizing that Kirk is.
No, but his creep factor is way higher.
You think so?
Oh yeah, he's like warp 9 creep factor.
Why? Why do you think he's higher creepy than?
Because he comes on to everyone. Kirk flirts a lot, but Riker will get you alone on the hololift or the air, whatever, and be like, so, Do they have monogamous relationships on your planet?
That's true. But I guess that's true. But he probably wouldn't try to seduce me.
No, he wouldn't. But I feel like he would just be creepy to be around, and any individual of whatever alien species who appears to be of the opposite sex of him.
Well, actually, not even that. There's an episode where he falls in love with an androgynous species.
Really?
Yeah.
Which one was that?
He's much more he's more open-minded.
He's so progressive.
Whereas, as we've discussed, Kirk is his best move is the kiss and dismiss.
Oh, the kiss and dismiss is a fantastic move.
Where you kiss the person, then you punch them right in the face and knock them out right afterwards. It's a classic Kirk move. Yeah, it's a tough one, but I think you've convinced me. I think I would rather go with Kirk. Mostly because there's a higher degree of probability we travel back in time for some reason.
Yeah. That was a pretty common theme.
It was a lot cheaper. Then he could wear his nice suits.
Mm-hmm. Also, I feel like people are put off by Riker. Like, Riker doesn't make any friends when he goes on away teams, whereas Kirk usually makes a few friends on away teams.
Kirk is kind of like this bizarre mix of like that guy that everybody kind of hates, but then there's something about him where you want him to like you and you want him to be your friend.
Yeah, he's so gregarious, and I don't know. He just seems to have this je ne quoi ça, or je ne sais, or whatever that word is.
Je ne sais quoi.
Je ne sais quoi.
Are you from Canada?
Yeah, but not that part.
I thought you were from French Canada.
No, Ontario.
Isn't
Outside.
that right next to Quebec?
It is, but it's not Quebec. You know how you can tell the difference?
Why?
It's the smell.
What? What is that supposed to mean?
I'm just making fun of French Canadians.
Oh, I see. Is that why?
It's like how Seattle makes fun of Tacoma. It's very similar to how like Ontario and Toronto make fun of Quebec.
You know, the only reason why that's debatable was even a topic because Picard wasn't in it. Because I would definitely go with Picard every day of the week.
Every time. If you're going just on safety, going with Spock is the best. Spock doesn't get in trouble hardly ever.
That's because Spock plans ahead.
Well, yeah, and if he does, he's just like detained due to a political thing, and you're just treated very nicely in a cell.
Yeah, that's true. His calm demeanor helps you out of jams. Yeah, that's true. All right. Well, I guess we'll have to put that poll question up when the time comes.
I believe so.
And also, quick announcement: we are on YouTube now.
We are. I'm so excited for that.
You can start if you just type in Rick and Dafs Podcast. You will find. Actually, type in Rick Bierstrom. I think that's actually better.
Yeah.
But if you type in either that or Rick and Dafs Podcast, you will start to find episodes that are popping up. I think the last 3 have been up, but I have forgotten to mention it because I am a bad person. So if you have any questions or comments, feel free to email us at rickanddafs@gmail.com. And any other business?
Nope, that is pretty much everything.
Just a quick reminder on my side, I'm going to be re-releasing a song from Lovely Lovers, My Trousers. It is about a magical pair of pants that gives you the ability to be attractive to pretty much everybody. You just have to listen to it. But
it's solid.
It's in celebration of the band getting back together, so... that'll be out within the month. So look forward to that. And for all of us here at the podcast, I'm Rick.
I'm Dafs.
Have a good one.